Good morning, how are we all doing? Breaking news this morning is in Marca, the Spanish newspaper, that Trent Alexander-Arnold has informed Liverpool that he wants to leave and will be leaving on a free transfer at the end of the season to Real Madrid. Whether or not this is true or not, who knows? Who can say? Is it just the Spanish press doing the mind games? They've done this before. We've seen it in the past, haven't we? Trying to unsettle players, trying to just disrupt things at the club and cause tension. They're very, very good at it, and it has worked in the past. Notoriously, we can name many, many examples of that. But is that the case with Trent Alexander-Arnold? I think from a Liverpool fan's perspective, we're all just waiting. We're all just waiting for the news that's that announcement. I think this is such a provocative statement from Marca, which, by the way, is basically the mouthpiece of Real Madrid. That's what it's considered in Spain, in many parts of Spain. They have fed so much information from Real Madrid. So, is there going to be a statement from Liverpool Football Club to, a rebuttal of this? Because you would be very surprised if there hasn't been a serious top-level conversation at the club about what's happening with Trent, and they'll know. I'm absolutely certain of it. They will know what's going on. They will know whether he's going or not. Let's put it that way. I think they'll know if he's definitely going. There's a part of me that still thinks Trent is just waiting, and maybe that's copium. Maybe that's just me trying to. He'll stay. Because of course, look, all Liverpool fans, we all want him to stay. He's the best right back in the world. Why wouldn't we want him to stay? And he's a local lad. He's won it all. But his legacy will absolutely be tarnished by this. I'll come to that in a minute. But just coming to the club will know, I'm sure, if he's definitely going. And I get the feeling they probably do already know that. If, for example, Trent's just waiting, just biding his time, as I said earlier, as I was hoping that is the case, he might just be waiting to see how Liverpool get on this season. If Liverpool win the league and go far in maybe even win the Champions League, who knows? It's not unprecedented to think Liverpool at this stage, given where they stand in the league, the Champions League, semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, favourable draw in the FA Cup against Accrington Stanley. It sounds crazy to think, Liverpool could do the quadruple, Liverpool could do the treble. We were 2 games away from winning the quadruple not that long ago under Jurgen Klopp, this team. So I don't necessarily think it's out of the question that Liverpool could go far and could win a good 1, 2, 3 trophies maybe. Who knows? It could be a record-breaking historic season from Liverpool. And Trent might just be waiting to see exactly how that plays out, because if it's a successful one, if it's like Steven Gerrard in Istanbul, Gerrard said, didn't he, after winning the Champions League, how could I leave this? Of course, it wasn't long later, he put in a transfer request. Ultimately, he stayed. But coming back to Trent's legacy, Jamie Carragher's talked about this. Many others have talked about this. I've seen it bandied around. Jamie Redknapp had an awful lot to say about this on Sky Sports News, another ex-Liverpool player. And maybe Carragher got it as a local lad and Redknapp didn't, because he wasn't a local Liverpool player. He didn't, come through the academy, didn't grow up around Liverpool, so doesn't quite understand. Trent is already getting hate. The fans are already preparing for him leaving. The noises in and around Liverpool, within the fan base, and emanating from sources in the nose, if you like that sort of thing. The noises are that Salah and Van Dijk will stay, the club will get those done, and Trent is going. And if that's the case, Trent Alexander-Arnold really does need to choose whether or not he wants to be remembered as a Steve McManaman, a Michael Owen, both terrific players. Both fantastic players for Liverpool and after Liverpool. Michael Owen less so, of course, but Michael Owen was a generational talent. He won the Ballon d'Or. He he was exceptional as a young player for Liverpool. And I feel like Liverpool probably broke him, to be honest. We played him far too much when he was young, and his muscles, his hamstrings just couldn't take it, and that certainly affected him later on in his career. So, but he made horrendous choices after that, didn't he? He went to Real Madrid, didn't work out. Newcastle, didn't work out. Man United, horrific decision, but won a league title, whatever. Steve McManaman, though, was a terrific player at Liverpool. Went to Real Madrid, and he's still adored at Real Madrid. But he's still not quite considered a Liverpool legend. And it's really odd. It's really odd when you've got a player who's won, was it 2 European Cups he won at Real Madrid? Won 2 European Cups. And he's still not thought of as... When you're talking about Liverpool X1s, when you're talking about Liverpool's greatest Premier League Liverpool's greatest Premier League players, Steve McManaman's not even in the conversation. And it's crazy because Steve McManaman was... I am telling you, if you are, maybe you're not old enough to watch that, remember Steve McManaman in his peak, but if you are, you'll know what a player he was. He was Liverpool's best player. Best player for me. The goal he scored against Celtic in the UEFA Cup, if you've not seen it, watch it. It was one of the greatest goals I've ever seen. It was phenomenal. He carried that Liverpool team. He went to Real Madrid. He got a reputation there as being, a workhorse. He was never the starter in the Galacticos era, but he came off the bench and always contributed. Scored in the Champions League final, of course, that great sort of scissor kick. He is someone that Trent could look at and say, do I want that career? Do I want that legacy? And if he does, then he needs to go. He can go and experience Spain. He can go and learn a new language, a new life for his family. And good luck to him on a personal level. I think as a Liverpool fan, there would be probably no way back. I think he would be booed on his return. He would get pelters from the foreign, from not the foreign press, the local press. He would be tarnishing his legacy as a Liverpool player. He would still be considered one of the best right-backs in Europe. He would still be considered one of the greatest right-backs in Premier League history. It seems like what he's saying is, because he's talked about wanting to win the Ballon d'Or. But he isn't winning the Ballon d'Or. Right-backs don't win the Ballon d'Or, Trent. Right-backs don't win the Ballon d'Or. Full-backs don't win it. It just doesn't happen. Roberto Carlos didn't win it at Real Madrid. Cafu didn't win it. It doesn't matter how good you are. Defenders, very rarely. I mean, Cannavaro, I think, was the last one. Was it? Maldini didn't win a Ballon d'Or, did he? There's top players, defenders, who just don't get anywhere near it. It's just the reality. Virgil van Dijk, for me, probably should have won it. Finished second. But look, Trent is unlikely to get to that level. He'll go to Real Madrid and he'll win a bucket load of trophies, I am sure. It's still a very good Real Madrid side. It's probably not the one of a few years ago. Modric, Kroos, Casemiro, that side, Ramos, that side probably could win trophies. I think now that you're getting into that new era, that new midfield isn't quite as strong. And I just suspect that he has that decision to make. He may have already made it. He's got to think whether or not he wants to be remembered as a Steve McManaman, a Michael Owen, or does he want to be a Steven Gerrard, where he wins everything with his club, by the way, where he's a fan. He's grew up supporting the team. He's been at the club for, 17 years now? The guy's... He can come back to Liverpool and be remembered as this icon. He'll get the Steven Gerrard treatment. If he was to stay, he would get lauded forever. He would never have to buy a pint in Liverpool. He would always be remembered, and he would walk into... Every fan locally would be talking about him as the greatest fullback in Premier League history. And whether or not that means anything to him, who knows? I think if you're a local lad, it does mean something to come back home and be welcome, get that hero's welcome. He wouldn't get that. That is effectively what he's doing by leaving on a free. And it is that, by the way. It is the transfer fee that's the really important part in all this. Because if Trent Alexander-Arnold had said 18 months ago, I want a new challenge, I want to move away, I want to go and try something different. You know, Ian Rush did it. Ian Rush is still considered a Liverpool legend, still considered probably the best striker in Liverpool's history. I want a new challenge, I want to go and do something different. Real Madrid would have paid a big fee for him, and they would. If Liverpool said tomorrow, Trent Alexander-Arnold is available for transfer, he wants to leave, he'd have got a fee, 100 million plus. No problem. And Liverpool fans would have been disappointed, but they'd have taken it, and they'd have said, okay, that's fine, you know, off you go, good luck to you. If it doesn't work out, you can come back. Because we've got a fee for you, you can reinvest in that in the playing squad, and we are better, arguably, perhaps we can be better collectively as a team without you. That's not what's happening, though. He's leaving on a free. He's walking away for nothing. And that's a real slap in the face to the supporters. It's a real slap in the face. And I hope when he's weighed all that up, whether he's done it already or whether he's still to do it, I hope he really does consider that. And he considers whether or not that's important to him. If it's not, then off you go. No problem. Off you go. If it is important, then he does need to really think about it, because he could sign a contract. Trent Alexander-Arnold's 26. He could sign a contract, a 3-year contract, right? And in 12 months' time, he could go again. Real Madrid would buy him in 12 months, let's be honest. Who wouldn't? There would be offers on the table for Trent Alexander-Arnold in 12 months' time if he signed a contract. So he could still go. The other thing to factor in to all this as well is that Steve McManaman, Michael Owen, they left Liverpool teams who weren't winning things, weren't really even qualifying for the Champions League, were barely in the conversation for league titles and Champions Leagues. Michael Owen obviously left and Liverpool won it the year later. That was a happy coincidence. That team was never going to win a Champions League. We only just, by the skin of our teeth, qualified for it that year. So there was a sense behind Michael Owen leaving for the great Real Madrid to go and play with Zidane and Ronaldo and Beckham. You know, there was a sense, there was an understanding. It still didn't feel right, and he still got pelters for it because he was going for like 8 million quid with a year left on his contract. But Owen could have come back and salvaged it. McManaman also left a Liverpool team that was out of sorts. Roy Evans, Gerard Houllier hadn't really got to grips with the team at the time. And he left. He left a Liverpool team that was not challenging, not winning things for the mighty Real Madrid, and he won 2 European Cups, won league titles. He did it all. So again, there's an understanding with those two that you're going on to bigger and better things. That's not the case with Trent. He's leaving the team. Let's not be meek about this. He's leaving the team that's the best in the world right now. He's only stepping down from Liverpool in terms of quality. He might be going up in terms of lifestyle. Madrid's, I'm sure, a beautiful place. I've never been to Madrid. But Madrid is a beautiful place. Spain is a beautiful place to go and live. So, yeah, he's probably going up in lifestyle. But he's leaving to a worse team. I mean, a worse team's probably not the quite phrasing you'd use for Real Madrid, is it? He's leaving to a team that isn't as good as the one he's at. He's leaving to a team that isn't as good and isn't in as strong of a position as the one he's at. His local team, his favourite team, his club that he's helped build and get to that point. So there would be no understanding with Trent. There would be none. It would be, burning shirts levels with Trent if he was to leave, and I expect, not that I'm justifying that, by the way, if he was to leave, I would be gutted. I would feel let down because it's free, but he would go with, and he would probably go and win things, I'm sure. But yeah, I'd be really interested to know what everyone else makes of this situation, because clearly, even amongst the ex-Liverpool players, Redknapp, Carragher, there was quite a heated disagreement, wasn't there? Is Trent right to leave? Should he go with our blessing? Should he go with the fans' blessing? Should he not be expected to stay? I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I'm fascinated to know where everyone lines up on this one. As always, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. If you like this sort of stuff, give us a follow, give us a subscribe, and like the video. But I appreciate it either way. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.